All right, today we are diving into one of the absolute giants of 20th century philosophy, Martin Heidegger. Now, this is a thinker who totally revolutionized the game by asking a question that seems, almost childishly simple, but it gets right to the very heart of what it means to be alive. To really get what he was doing, let's start with a little question of our own.
So just think about it for a second. What is a jail? Simple question, right? If someone asked you that, what's the first thing that pops into your head?
You'd probably say something like this, wouldn't you? It's a building. It's got bricks, bars on the windows, locks on the doors. You're just listing the facts. This is what philosophers call an ontic description. It's all about describing an entity, a thing, by its properties.
Okay, but here's where Heidegger completely flips the script. He's not really interested in what a jail is as an object. He wants to know what it means to be in jail. And that's a whole different ballgame.
See, this answer has nothing to do with bricks and mortar. To be in jail is an experience. It's about guilt, punishment, losing your freedom. It's a way of existing in the world. This is what Heidegger calls an ontological question. It's not about things, it's about the meaning of being itself. And for him, that's the only question that really matters.
So if we humans aren't just things, like a brick or a hammer, then what are we? This question is central to Heidegger's whole project, and it led him to create a special term for our unique way of being.
And that term is Dasein. It literally translates to being here. But what it really gets at is this. We are the only beings, as far as we know, for whom our own existence is a question. A rock just is. It doesn't lie around wondering about its rockness. But we do. We're constantly dealing with the question of our own lives, what they mean, what we should do with them. Our existence is an issue for us.
This famous line really nails it. Think about a hammer. Its essence is fixed, right? It's made to hit nails. That's what it is. But for a human being, our essence isn't predetermined. Our essence is what we do. It's the choices we make, the path we forge. Our essence is our existence.
And this brings us to another huge idea, mindness. My existence isn't just some generic human life. It's always and forever mine. It's my responsibility, my project. To be human for Heidegger is to be thrown into this world with an open horizon of possibilities that only I can choose from.
But here's the catch. Here's the big problem. Most of the time, we don't really live like our existence is our own. We slip into this kind of default mode, a comfortable, easy way of being that Heidegger saw as a huge danger. He calls this mode the they. You know this voice. It's the anonymous they, and oh, they say you shouldn't do that. It's the one in one simply doesn't wear white after Labor Day. It's this nobody of public opinion, the social chatter that we just kind of absorb and follow without thinking. So when we're living in the they, our life gets dictated by gossip and idle talk. We just do what everyone else is doing because it's comfortable. It lets us avoid those big, scary questions about life and death and meaning. We essentially hand over responsibility for our own lives to the crowd. We lose our I. So you can see the two paths laid out pretty clearly here, right? On one side, you've got the inauthentic life, lost in the they, just going with the flow. And on the other, you have the authentic life, taking ownership, being responsible, and facing what it means to be you. This choice, this tension, is really the core drama of being human.
So the big question is, how do we break free? If living in the they is so easy and comfortable, what could possibly shake us out of it? Well, Heidegger says there's a very particular, very powerful feeling that acts like a wake-up call.
And that feeling is dread. The German word is Angst. Now, this is crucial. Dread is not the same as fear. Fear always has an object. I'm afraid of that spider, or afraid of failing the test. Dread has no object. It's this deep, weird feeling that the world you thought was so solid and familiar is suddenly strange. It's the feeling of being not at home in your own life.
And what dread does is it strips away all the noise, all the comforts of the they, the chatter, the rules, the distractions, suddenly seem meaningless. They just fall away. And in that quiet, you are left completely and utterly alone with yourself and the fact of your own existence.
So while dread is, terrifying, it's also a moment of incredible opportunity. Because it's in that moment that we are forced to see our own freedom. We see that we have a choice. We can either scurry back to the comfort of the crowd, or we can stand our ground, take responsibility, and choose to live authentically. Okay, so what's the payoff? We face dread, we're choosing to be authentic, so what? Well, for Heidegger, this changes everything, right down to how we understand what truth even is.
Let's use his famous hammer example. Imagine you're building something. While you're hammering away, you're not thinking about the hammer. It's just an extension of your arm, part of the project. Heidegger calls this ready at hand. But then the hammer breaks, the project stops, and suddenly you're staring at the hammer. It's no longer part of your activity. It's an object with properties, wood, metal, broken. He calls this present at hand. Do you see the insight here? Meaning was never in the hammer. Meaning arose from your engagement with the hammer in your project. The inauthentic they-self tends to see the world as just a collection of objects to be studied, a present-at-hand world. But the authentic self lives in a world of meaningful engagement.
And this leads to his most radical idea about truth. Truth isn't just a correct sentence that matches a fact, like the sky is blue. For Heidegger, truth is the act of unconcealing, of disclosing, of letting the meaning of things show up in the first place. It's something we do when we're living authentically.
And this is the incredible conclusion. By choosing to live an authentic life, by taking on your own existence, you become the clearing in the forest where being itself can be revealed. You don't just go out and find truth. You are the very site where truth happens. So, we'll end by turning his fundamental question back to you. Because it was never meant to be just an academic puzzle. It's the most personal question there is. You exist, that's a fact. But what does it mean to be you?